She isn't. Well said. Look, Beth, I'm sorry I got to go. It's that committee meeting of the headmasters. Oh, look, there's no need for anyone else to go. I shall be late.
Well, cheerio, sir.
Yes, bye-bye, sir.
Goodbye.
Now, I wonder if any of you fancy helping me whitewash the scullery.
What is it supposed to represent?
An angel poised on a globe, Brigadier, representing the embattled world.
Poppycock.
Yeah. Tosh gibberish and nonsense, angels.
That's one thing settled. No angels, eh? Well, I must say I'm relieved. I knew every one of those boys. Workers, slackers, rum characters, and heroes too. Not an angel among them, I'm glad to say. So, it's going to be the infantryman or the plain stone cross. Is that what we're saying? Any views? Paolo Jones, we haven't heard from you yet.
Yes, well, you may not like this, but as an ex-serviceman, I got to express an opinion. Those things are meaningless to me, all three of them. In fact, I go further than that. Monuments like that seem to me to be a mockery of all that we thought that we were fighting for.
Who's he? Paolo Jones. Bit of a bullshit.
Well, do you have any positive suggestions, Mr. Paolo Jones?
Yes, I do. If £500 is going to be spent on a memorial to the dead, why can't it be spent on something practical?
Such as what?
A gymnasium to replace the old covered playground, modern cooking equipment in the kitchens. Well, even a dynamo down by the piggeries to supply us with our own electricity.
A piggery's not a war memorial.
No, Corduway, no, be fair. It's certainly worth considering. What do you say, Carter?
Oh, with respect, Headmaster, no. It is out of step with the sentiment behind the gift. Mr. Blunt would not favour it.
You could at least consult him on the matter.
Well, I have done so, as a matter of fact, Paolo Jones, and Alderman Blunt wants a proper job done. He favours the stone cross.
Well, then, that's that. I suppose we should be glad he didn't want the angel, eh? Well, that's settled then, eh?
I was asked here to represent the interest of the old boys. Well, we don't know what they are. Don't you think we ought to find out before we accept? Nearly 100 fell, but 6 times that number served and survived. Well, I propose that we put it to the OBA meeting at Easter and get their views.
Not on. The offer might be withdrawn by then, don't you see? Settle for the bird in hand.
My sentiments exactly, sir. We don't want to give Alderman Blunt the impression that we're looking a gift horse in the mouth. No, I move an amendment that we accept the money now and put the work in hand straight away.
Stand for that.
In favour? Against? Carried. And thank you all very much for giving your time to this.
Finished?
Not half finished. I've got an essay to do for the history degree. I've got 2 sets of books to mark, and I can't concentrate on either one of them. I keep seeing that bastard smug face.
Which bastard's that then, Davy?
Carter. He sums up everything that's wrong with this school.
Ooh, poor chap.
And Carter's all right. He knows how to get the right people on his side. He made me look a bloody fool at that meeting.
Oh, come on, Davy. I'm sure you're exaggerating.
No, I'm not. Yet it all worked out. He knew exactly what I was going to say. Well, I'm not going to give up.
Well, you've got to, haven't you? I mean, they voted and everything. You did your best. Forget it.
No. No, I'm not going to give up that easily.
Well, you won't get that committee round, will you? Hey, why not just get him behind the pavilion and give him a straight left to the jaw?
You're so bloody silly.
Don't shout at me. Oh, Davy, where's your sense of humour gone?
I think I've lost it over this, Beth. You think I'm making a fuss about nothing, do you?
No, I don't. I think you're all right, really, and it's a shame you couldn't get them to see it your way.
A shame.
Yes, that's all. Look, David, a war memorial isn't going to hurt anyone, is it? I think there's...
Go on.
I think there's things about the war you still can't think quite straight about.
Oh? I was in the war, you weren't. How can I expect you to understand?
I do. want me to think you're perfect, don't you?
Of course I don't.
Yes, you do. And you are, for me. But you can't expect everyone to see you the way I do, can you?
God forbid.
What are you going to do, then?
I'm going to circularize all the old boys, all the ones we got addresses for. Ask them what they think.
Is it worth it, David?
I think so, yes.
Who's going to lick all the envelopes, then?
Well, I had hoped you might help me.
Well, now, gentlemen, I reconvened the Memorial Committee because some of our members felt there was room for further discussion. We're gluttons for work, you see, Alderman Blunt. We can't get enough of it.
You'll be glad if you could get on with it, Mr. Harris. I got an appointment at 6.
Well, I'm sure we very much appreciate your giving us your valuable time. Now, at the last meeting, there was a general feeling that the stone cross would be the most suitable form of monument. I believe you favour that yourself, Mr. Blunt,
That's correct.
And then Mr. Powlett-Jones there raised a general issue which I thought was well worth following up. Perhaps you'd like to explain yourself, eh, PJ?
Yes, thank you. Well, as you know, at the last meeting, I felt that the views of the old boys who fought in the war should be consulted as to the nature of the memorial. Well, I wrote to them. I've had over 400 replies. Here they are, if anybody wants to read them. 52 were in favour of some form of conventional monument like the stone cross. All the rest, over 350, asked that the memorial should be of some practical value to the school. That's all.
Well, I think you deserve our thanks for making so much effort. Well, I certainly think this is well worth considering. Any views, Brigadier?
Well, I'd say young Powlett-Jones has given us something to think about there. Got a point, what?
Headmaster, might I have a word?
Yeah, go ahead, of course.
Well, as you know, I am an ex-serviceman myself, and I hesitate to go against the Brigadier. But I see the memorial as a tribute from those who survived to those who fell. A magnificent tribute, thanks to the generosity of Alderman Blunt.
Why something as huge and useless as that? Good God, man, they didn't die for a stone cross, surely.
If I might finish what I was going to say, Headmaster.
Of course, carry on, Carter.
Well, I was going to say that as a schoolmaster, thinking of the boys now, a proper memorial is going to mean more to them than an addition to the school buildings, useful though that may be. They'll soon forget that a building is anything other than a building, whereas a memorial, something that they see every day, well, it'll keep before their eyes the courage and sacrifice of the men who died, and it will remind them that there are higher things in life than their petty day-to-day concerns. And if that makes me sound like an idealist, I make no apology.
It's not a question of...
There is one other thing. I'd like to see the wording of the letter that Mr. Powlett-Jones sent out. I mean, it's not difficult to get your way if you have a gift with words. I'm sure that if it were put to them properly, the majority might go the other way.
I resent that suggestion. Here's the letter if anybody wants to read it. I also resent Mr. Carter's implication that he has a monopoly of idealism round here. If this war was fought for anything, if any good's going to come out of it, it has to be a determination to make this world a better place. And here we've got a chance to do something about it, instead of wallowing in the tragedy that's behind us.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. We seem to have a little difference of opinion here. Perhaps we should put it to the vote.
I'd be very happy to propose that the memorial...
Just a moment, young man. Let's just be clear what you'll be voting on. I promised the money for a memorial. That's a memorial. A memorial is one thing, a gymnasium's another. I know that. You know that. I'm surprised you've tried it